Hello guys, this is gamefreakjls with a Thorns build guide for Season 10. Season 10 is about to be up, but I wanted to bring out this guide for anyone that wants to play a different class. So let's get into it. Right now I'm rank 6, but my character died on hardcore, so I won't be playing Season 10 since there's only about like a month left. But I can show you guys my gear and why I geared him the way I did. If we go to his profile, we'll start out with the pieces. So you're going to need the Legacy of Nightmare rings. And this is going to, for every ancient item you have, it's going to increase your damage by 100%, and you're going to take 4% damage. Or less damage. So you're gonna want those ancient. Obviously, you're gonna want every piece of your gear ancient. You're gonna want a hack. Hacks required, and this is going to apply to every attack your thorns damage. So in every piece of gear, we're trying to get thorns, but it's not the most important thing. Thorns is in the top important things. There's 3 important things. You need attack speed, cooldown, and thorns, and life per hit. So I'm actually going to say this is like 4 important things. So for shoulders, I have pauldrons of the wastes. It doesn't matter what kind of shoulders you have, but your stats you're going to want on this. This is like perfect stats: strength, vit, all resist, and cooldown reduction maxed out. And then your thorns damage. So that's what I rolled. I'll take it. As you can see, I also have really low augments that I cleared this 88 with. So 61 aug, it's not that hard to get. I'm sure people, if you play this on softcore, you'll be able to get, your 90, 100, 105s, augs, easy, 110s. For gloves, we're going to get strength, vit, attack speed, cooldown, and then thorns, if you could. You could possibly get strength, attack speed, cooldown, and life per hit, and thorns, but this was the best roll I could find. I'm sure if I played the season longer, could have got better gloves, especially with thorns damage. You don't have to get Saint Archu's gauge either. You can get any types of gloves, because once you get in the higher Jiris, it's not really going to matter. You just want your character to survive. You're not dwelling on the absorb shield, because at higher Jiris they're going to be doing more damage anyway, so it doesn't matter about the shield. We're going to go with the belt, Pride of Cassius. This one you need 6 seconds. Increase your duration. That's the most important thing. So you want ancient, increased duration of ignore pain by 6 seconds. And then you're going to want thorns damage is what you're automatically going to roll. So this is easy to gear for, or somewhat easy. The hardest part is getting an ancient 6 seconds. For pants, you're going to go with leveling up a witch doctor to 70, and you're going to roll pants. So that's what I did. I just got a witch doctor to 70, and then I kept using blood shards on pants, got these, and then I did bounties to make it ancient. And then you're going to want physical damage. So that's the most important stat. And then you could possibly get thorns, but if you don't, it's fine. With shoes, I went with ice climbers. Reason why is because was playing hardcore, so not getting frozen or immobilized is going to be a benefit or bigger upgrade than just being able to move freely. And with this, strength, vit, all resist, and then if you could get armor instead of me, I had ancient spear damage, and then thorns damage. With your weight or wrists, you're going to automatically want this. this is the best roll for wrist. So physical damage 20%, strength bit, and life per hit. You could maybe go with all resist, but life per hit is very, very important in this build. And I'll explain why with life per hit and attack speed, how it's gonna make you survive basically. And then it automatically rolls with Thorns, so you don't have to worry about getting the roll of Thorns, but or physical damage, because once you get an ancient piece of this, you're automatically going to roll physical. But since mine came with physical, I was able to roll with life per hit. Or if you get life per hit, you can roll with physical. So wrists aren't that hard to gear for. In our other weapon, we're going to go with the Oathkeeper, and this is just going to make our primary skills attack 50% faster. It's the only reason we want this weapon. And you want it ancient. Now, perfect rolls on these weapons would be strength, life per hit, cooldown, or strength, attack speed, cooldown, and then you could roll off the damage to the other stat. So that would be the perfect roll, but I got two, or I got one object or one thing that I wanted, so I got life per hit to roll on both of these. They're ancient, pretty high ancients, and then I just rolled cooldown off. I think I had like resource cost reduction, which doesn't even matter in this build, so I got unlucky with that, but that's what I went with that. You're gonna want a Hellfire Amulet Ancient. This is fucking perfect. So I got Tough of Nails, which is the increased armor and Thorns damage passive. We got physical, we got attack speed, and we got Thorns. So this is like perfect amulet. Instead of the attack speed, you could go with cooldown, but I think you need the attack speed. And then whatever passive you need. With our helmet, we're going to go with Leoric's Crown, Strength Vit, and I think life per hit would probably be better than the all resist, but that's what I rolled, so that's what it'll take. And then more Thorns damage, which is kind of hard to roll, so it's hard to get Strength Vit, all resist, and Thorns, and an Ancient. That's why I love this build, guys. This build is so fun. You're proud of your character, and that's why I like playing this, especially on hardcore. To be rank 1 Thorns Barb this season, and then rank 6 overall so far. So I'll probably end at like, I don't know, I'll probably be ranked like 15, 20 or something, depending on how many barbs play. But I'm proud of my character. We'll go with some stats on the rings. So I got attack speed, life per hit, cooldown. That's like perfect right there. Those are all the stats you need. And then secondary, if I would have got Thorns, would have been, ballin'. Same thing with this ring. You want attack speed, life per hit, cooldown. All I got was cooldown. Okay. And strength. I could have did more bounties, kept rolling it, but I didn't. For our cube, I went with Frenzy. Now stacks up to 10 times. So this is going to make you attack 10 times quicker. Or, not 10 times quicker, what am I saying? Okay, so this is going to make your Frenzy stack more. So you're able to, I think, currently with my gear, you attack, I believe it's 6 times while berserked. So if you're in berserker, and pretend you didn't have this and you had the one that increased elite damage by 50%, forget what it's called, you would only be attacking 6 times. So the reason why we want this is because when you berserk, you're going to be attacking 10 to 12 times. Is what I looked up with this website, which I'm going to link in the video below. Where you guys can put in your attack speed so you can see how many hits you're attacking with. It's very helpful for me, and it helped me clear this 88 and survive. With bracers, okay, I went with strong arm because you always charge. So with this combo for hardcore, it's really, really useful. So I use Band of Might to reduce my damage by 60%, and so then I'm charging, and then I'm hitting enemies while I'm charging, and that's going to make them take 30% more damage. So in my opinion, strong arm bracers are better than nemesis bracers, but I've seen a lot of people say use nemesis bracers. I honestly don't think that would be the better route. Um, I think this is. So I'm going to say use strong arm bracers. If you want to clear higher rifts, let the enemy take 30% of our damage from your thorns. You know, that's awesome. And then you're not relying so much on popping an elite on the pylons. With my stats, the only thing is I went one different, so I don't know if it's going to be better for pushing or not. But we got Maniac, so this is going to increase your damage by 2.5% per stack. So increased damage. We got Furious Charge, Merciless Assault, so this is going to, every time you go through enemies, it's going to allow you to keep pushing through enemies and reset the cooldown so you can keep charging. That's why we have that. We have this for mobility and also for the damage reduction. We have Iron Hide, so ignore pain. This is going to increase the duration by 7 seconds. And then if you have Pride of Cassius, or Cassius, or Cassius, whatever, that's going to increase the duration by 13 seconds. So with the amount of cooldown we have, so we have cooldown on our rings, and cooldown on our weapons, and cooldown on our hands and shoulders, it's going to allow for permanent uptime on Ignore Pain, and because of Leoric's Crown. So forever I would have Ignore Pain, so 50% damage reduction. The minimum for that too, if you guys want to know, for cooldown, is 58%. So you have to have 58% cooldown in order to keep up Ignore Pain 100% of the time if you have increased duration for 6 seconds. Our next skill we're going to go with is Threatening Shout. So this is going to put 15%, 25% more damage on enemies around you. So good. And it's going to lower their damage they do to you. Good. The next skill, and this is where I'm being different. So a lot of people will suggest to use Battle Cry with Impunity, and this is going to increase your armor by 20% and your resistances by, I think it's 20%. That is good, and I probably should have used that, but I wanted to do more damage, so I kind of theory crafted and I went with Battle Rage instead. And so this is like an ability just like Warcry, except it doesn't generate. It costs Fury, so I can't use this right away. But this is going to increase my damage by 15%. So I wanted to increase the damage of my Thorns, and I don't know if that does do it or not. I haven't tested that, but that's what I used, and it worked fine. And I was still able to survive the 88. Died on the 90, but that was my own fault. And then we're going to go with Wrath of the Berserker for Insanity. And this is going to increase your damage by 50% and increase your attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, which doesn't really matter. But so we mainly use this for the attack speed and the dodge and the damage. Mainly damage. For other passives, so this passive, we get tough as nails, which increases armor and Thorns damage. This is Nerves of Steel, so this is going to give us, so we're able to proc once. Gotta have this in hardcore and softcore. We got Berserker's Rage, so when you get your Fury up to 100 or around 100%, you deal 25% more damage, so more damage, need that. Then this skill, I would say, is the like play around skill, kind of. You do 40% more damage for enemies that are below 30% HP. So this skill kind of helps you finish off the elite that you're fighting, so then you don't have to fight it anymore. um, and it gives you a damage buff, but it's at 40%. I think you could also use Brawler, so that'll increase 20% damage for 3 enemies that are around you. But then I thought about fighting the Rift Guardian, and you're not going to get that damage buff unless he spawns ads. So if you're versing a Rift Guardian that doesn't have ads, then you won't get that benefit. We're going to go with Boon of Bold Kathos because this is going to reduce the cooldown on your Wrath of Berserker. So that is basically all the gear. I believe to get the minimum hits on attack speed, so you want to get the Enchantress, and what helped me push this 88, which I did push an 84, and I did that, and so I went from an 84 to an 88, and what helped me get to that, and you got to think, is my first character that I had, he died, but how he cleared the 84 was all he had was cooldown on his gear. Well, then this character I went with attack speed, and the reason why is because I went from attacking, I think, 7 times with no attack speed on my gear, 7 times to 10 to 12 times. So think about that. Every hit applies your thorns, so attack speed is very important in this build. Attack speed, cooldown is important for the damage reduction and a little bit more damage, in reducing your cooldown for Wrath of Berserker, but attack speed's also very important if you're wanting to clear those really high G rifts with this build. And like I said, if you look at my Augs, I did this 88 with 55 Augs. We look at these people. So here I am, did an 88 in 14 minutes. Like if I go to this person, look at his gear, he got 80 Augs. I had 50. Just saying. This person, 85 Augs. I had 50. 55s. This person, 95. I had 55 Augs. And my character still wasn't perfect. I could have attacked even more. By the way, it's 10 attack speeds, so that's what I had. If I would have got attack speed on my weapons, then I would be attacking 12 times. So if I would have got attack speed on my weapons, I think this build definitely can push over 92 easy. So and I was Paragon 1030, by the way. So this person's Paragon 1300, 1300, 1700, 1600, and this guy's roughly where I am, so GG to him. But he has 101 Augs, so I had half his Augs, and his gem levels were 107. So my gem's 91, 95, 91. So I forgot to use so you're going to want to use Stricken, obviously. Your attack speed's going to benefit from this, so 10 hits times 1.71% per hit every second, so it's like 10, so it's almost like 18% more damage every second, which is fucking insane. And then we got your Thorns damage, obviously, so it's just going to add more Thorns. And then we got Bane of the Trap, and this is just going to make it to where every enemy around you is going to take 42% more damage. I also tested with, Gogok, just for the attack speed and the cooldown reduction. You could use that. I think you kill elites quicker with Gogok because the attack speed and the cooldown will help you a little bit, but I think Bane of the Trap's better because it's just gonna the enemies around you is what you also want to kill the trash, and that's what I use with Bane of the Trap. The reason also why we're using these gloves is because chance on being hit to deal 1000% of your Thorns damage to enemies. So this wrist is what's going to clear the trash for you and help you kill elites. For gems, I got all resist gems and cooldown reduction in the helmet, so you're going to want those. And that's pretty much my setup that I use for hardcore. I think this is the top, so if you're wanting to push into hardcore with Thorns Barb, this is what gear you're going to want to use. And then if you're not doing hardcore, you don't need this damage reduction. You could go with convention of elements. And I think this would still push really, really high. So I got, on this character, I had 43% attack speed with the Enchantress. And that's going to give you, or I'll put down in the link, the attack speed. So that's pretty much my video. Sorry I couldn't show any like him inside town, but he died. But I'm proud of my character, season 10. You know, I consider myself a good player. You know, I had about 250 hours played this season. Playing a build that not everyone's playing. A lot of people are playing Whirlwind. I don't know how many hours rank 1 dude has. He probably did. Okay, so this guy's a little bit better than me. 220. But it's alright. So I just wanted to bring that build to you guys for people wanting to know how I'm pushing that high. That's how I did it. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, you can at the bottom. If you want to donate to my Patreon, I'll have that link also in the bottom. And then I also stream on Twitch. So gamefreakjls. That's my video, guys, for you. I hope it helps people that want to make a Thorns Barb. And this is probably the most updated video. Of course, for hardcore. So, yeah. Thank you for watching.